Hi, my name is Dana Sardano, and this is the Ubuntu Room. I am so glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. For those of you who are new to who I am and what I do, the Ubuntu Room is a place where we talk all things personal empowerment, all things spiritual development, and everything that falls in between. It's where we recognize that the power is in our hands to create the lives that we desire, and that personal empowerment and spiritual development are actually very much intertwined. And each of us on our own journey of self-discovery falls somewhere on that spectrum. It's my hope that by having these conversations, maybe I meet you where you fall, and perhaps we travel together. So, today we have moved into the cool colors. We are talking throat chakra. Throat chakra located in the throat, represented in blue, and the greatest age of resonance is 28 to 35. Now, I'm not wearing my trusty chakra shirt today because I was freezing my bippies off again this morning, but you'll have to trust me when I tell you it's blue and it's located here. Last several weeks, we've been talking about the foundational chakras: root, sacral, solar plexus, safety, security, grounding, empowerment, creativity. And last week, we talked heart chakra, loving without condition or expectation, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness. And today, throat chakra, again, represented in blue right here. So the aspects of the throat chakra, when the throat chakra is balanced, are all about proper communication, speaking respectfully, good listening, setting proper boundaries, integrity, speaking the truth, honesty. But the big one, I think, is living authentically. Living authentically from the heart space, knowing who you are, solar plexus, embracing that, heart chakra, and expressing that to the world. Now, when it's imbalanced, you tend to be intolerant to other people's opinions. Maybe even your communication skills are aggressive or non-existent. You may lack integrity, and not because even you're intentionally dishonest, but if you don't mean what you say and say what you mean, there is a lack of integrity there. And inauthenticity, and not embracing your trueness, and not, and like I said, and not bringing it from the heart space. The sense of, like I said, inauthenticity, inability to express who you truly are is pretty profound when you have an imbalanced throat chakra. Now, Dawn had mentioned earlier about thyroid disease, and thyroid is, or inactive or any kind of thyroid disease is really, really common, especially in women. And I truly believe that that is a manifestation of the stunted energy center, because people, again, mostly women, have developed a fearfulness or a self-doubt in expressing themselves. So to all you women who are taking your Synthroid, look at your throat chakra, and maybe you could bring that into balance yourself. But again, I want to zone in on the authenticity. The funny thing is about authenticity is, I always thought, I'm authentic because I say what's on my mind, like I'm just being real. But when authenticity isn't, or speaking your mind isn't connected to an open heart space, to a balanced heart chakra, it's really it's dictated by ego, by an imbalanced solar plexus chakra. So really, again, they go hand in hand. In order to live in truth, to speak and to be authentic, it comes from this open heart space. And it comes from alleviating fear and self-doubt and shame and questions about identity. And of course, I'm going to share something personal, so sit tight. But, I often bring up the times in the gallery. I owned and ran Ubuntu Fish Gallery from 2019 to 2023. And when I opened the doors to the gallery, which was an art gallery and intuitive lounge, I had already had several layers of a spiritual awakening under my belt and was very much aware of my intuitive nature. But when I gathered, I call them my unicorns, when I gathered my intuitive friends and my artistic friends, and it really was a sea of intuitives and a couple of artists, I identified as the artist. There was something about going public about my intuitive nature, about my spirituality, and my woo that was uncomfortable for me. And it took those years in the gallery, it took a lot of self-exploration for me to realize that I carried insecurity about it. I carried shame even, self-doubt. I really had to nail down who I was and embrace that, again, heart chakra, in order for me to express that to the world. And when I did that, I was heightened to a whole new level of authenticity. And you know what else I learned, or what I realized in this experience of my really embracing my weird and openly expressing it to the world? Now I'm talking aliens, I'm talking with channels, I'm doing all sorts of weird stuff because I know who I am and I do embrace that. But what I realized was that external validation that I was worried about, solar plexus chakra, no longer mattered. And the people who weren't ready to speak their truth and live in their truth are actually repelled by me. Like, I know this and I get this, but I'm okay with that. But those who are living authentically and ready to live in their truth are attracted to me. And what happens is, when you realize that and you're willing to embrace who you are and bring it to the world, you meet your people. And we're all looking to meet our people. So find your truth, embrace your truth, and go find your people. But with that said, before I go, I want to break out my Ubuntu Girls Guide to Grab. I keep wanting to call them my Soul Traveler cards. That's a whole nother deck. But I have introduced these cards, and each of these Ubuntu Girls is an aspect of self, an aspect that corresponds with our chakra system. So today I picked two girls that I wanted to share with you because they correspond with the throat chakra. The first one is blue. Yeah. And as I've mentioned before, each girl comes with like 4 cards, and I have like tips and tools and reflective questions and things like that. But I just want to share Blue's message. It's respect yourself. And this is all about choosing people who choose you, setting proper boundaries, keeping to those boundaries. Very, very important throat chakra aspect. I have her behind me too. I just go the wrong way. There she is. And the other one, and this is the one that I want to zone in on a little bit. This is Stash. And her message is, speak your truth and live authentically. And even though there's 4 cards, and like I said, tips and tools and so on and so forth, feel free to go over to my website if they speak to you. But I just want to share 2 of them with you today. The first one, oh, by the way, get your notebook. We talked about this. Get your notebook, write this down, and I want you to do some reflective questioning, because this is really how you get to the soul of things. So the first question is, are you living authentically? Ask yourself the following questions. Is the world seeing the real me? What do I believe about myself that creates reservations about bringing my true self to the world? What are my natural proclivities, my greatest gifts, the things that come most naturally to me? Am I comfortable sharing my gifts with the world? If not, why is that? And then there's a note on the bottom. How can you expect to live fully and authentically if you are keeping the best parts of you hidden? Because the one thing that I learned, especially when I embraced my weird and released the fear and the self-doubt and brought it to the world, my giftedness, whatever that looks like, expanded exponentially. And again, we're going to talk about the third eye chakra, which is all about discernment, imagination, intuition, all that. We're going to talk about the crown chakra in the next couple of weeks. But when I embraced this blew up. And when this blows up, then things get interesting. And I want to leave you with one more. Hot tip. Hot tip. Don't shrink to fit in. Stop downplaying your greatness. that who you truly are to make others more comfortable. True authenticity means showing up fully as yourself. And there's a quote on the bottom that I just want to share with you. It is our heartfelt honesty that allows another into our world. And by doing so, we build the foundation for our understanding of our oneness. For we can only live in unity when we commit to living in our truth. And that is an excerpt from You've Cracked the Code, The Woo Is You, written by Dana Sardano. Skedaddle over to my website, check it out. And with that said, as always, thank you for joining me. Do your homework, you be you, boo, and Ubuntu.